It is September 18th, 2025. I'm reading from my book, Uriel's Word, A Lightworker's Journey. This is Episode 9. So, I'll start with my intro. I think I'll start with Hafiz first from my foreword. This is a poem quoted from A Year with Hafiz by Daniel Ladinsky on page 148. Enduring the absurd. Such a dignity can come to us, enduring the absurd, with forbearance and humor. Elegant becomes the countenance of one who exemplifies patience. This nonfiction book is dedicated to all the valiant starseeds, lightworkers, healers, shamans, spiritual warriors, mystics, peacemakers, and seers, old and young, and their intrepid helpers who have come here in the service of humanity at this time of great change. All persons' names have been changed. There's a few harmless exceptions to that. Chapter 20, Being Peace Flow, a prose poem, from Journal Book 171. What is my great dream? To live in love, every moment in that consciousness where separateness doesn't exist, where all is one, where there is no need for forgiveness because there is nothing to forgive, where joy is always quiet and steady, where beauty and wonder are ever present, where boredom is a foreign concept, where poverty has no meaning, where you are is exactly where you are delighted to be, where every moment is an adventure and simply being alive is bursting with excitement, where everything has meaning you are aware of, where everything is intriguing, mysterious, and connected, where everything is happening as it should, seamlessly, where there is no loneliness or sadness, only peaceful joy and contentment with what is, where what is so marvelous just as it is, where all is accepted, all are acceptable, all are loved, and all is love. Chapter 21. It's a mystery. This is a phenomenon I have experienced from the age of 33 or even younger, singly and also 3 in a row. Over the past decades, this happens. I meet someone new to me, a total stranger, and that person immediately says, I know you. I know you. Where do I know you from? All the while staring intently at me, looking inquisitive and puzzled. We rack our brains running through the possibilities of groups, events, people, places, and always come up blank. And here's the thing, I don't recognize them at all, ever. The last person this happened with was a librarian who was filling in at my branch for a while. She dressed with an exquisite eye for color, that color magic. Here's something too, like they like me right away. And it seems important to them to try and figure out how they know me. I have a few theories about this. 1, we've been in a dream state together in some setting, but why it's one-way recognition is an unanswered question. 2, a past life recall on their part, but not on my part? And what would account for the one-way recognition? In my astrological natal chart, I have Mercury, the ruler of my chart, conjunct the south node in the 10th house, in the sign of Gemini. It is at the 9 degree of the fixed star Aldebaran, the royal star of Archangel Michael, and the Sabian symbol for it is a medieval archer poised and ready, good aim and facility. The south moon node in the 10th, with all the rest, suggests that in a past life I was a teacher, lecturer, or even entertainer who had an audience. The audience would see me in that context, but I wouldn't see them, not as individuals. In this present day life, I shy away from public speaking actually, and only rarely do it when necessary. So my South Node is not my comfort zone now, even though I'm reasonably okay at it. I think I've done my North Node thing raising a child and tutoring kids, and in practicing intuitive mindfulness, being in the now, for which the Sag 10 degree symbol, Sabian symbol is, the goddess Fortuna, the goddess of wisdom. That North Node degree is conjunct Antares, the royal star of the Archangel of Truth, Uriel. Inner truth. Three, I have a doppelganger, or even clones, running around out in the world. Twice or thrice, I've been mistaken for some other woman. Quite strange for me, and it's a mystery. 4. In some other timeline happening now, I am a teacher perhaps. I keep getting asked if I'm a teacher. One day, I'd like to solve this mystery. Chapter 22, T.I. This is a quote from by Thomas Hardy. If way to the better there be, it exacts a full look at the worst. So here we go. TI, that's short for targeted individual. This is not my favorite subject matter, though I've written plenty about it in my 288 volumes of journals. This daily, and usually 24/7 harassment, etc., has just been a fact of life for me, the context for all else I've written about in these pages. It has been aimed at my child, too, for sure. It is sad but true that many people in Canada and across the globe have been subjected to this heinous, stalking, constant, intrusive surveillance, harassment, intimidation, sabotage, and torture. And similarly sad but true that many people willingly participate in such despicable garbage. Certainly bribes and threats and lies are used to get people on board. I have noticed that new cars and RVs are a common bribe. There are models for this grotesque systematic abuse, like COINTELPRO, for instance, which is said to have started in 1956 by the CIA, FBI to disrupt certain undesirable groups' activities. Stalin had his own version of this tyrannical terrorism visited on certain undesirables in the populace. In brackets, see Alexander I. Solzhenitsyn's The Gulag Archipelago. Undesirables like artists, critical thinkers, social activists, psychics, healers, ethnic groups, certain blood types, certain family lines. Yes, about blood types, especially O negative, certain family lineages, women, and anyone they just don't like for any reason whatsoever. In any stripe, it is a flagrant, but these days covert abuse and utter disregard of human rights. It is also used for sick, experimental purposes, and some of these wackos do it for thrills and or money, drugs, sex, and other forms of gain. Really. MK Ultra and the Stasi just changed names and went underground. Trying to put it in a nutshell for someone oblivious to this domestic terrorism, recently I said, every business, every group of any sort, bureaucracy, government, fire hall, medical facility, police station, church, gym, support group, choir, you name it, it is infiltrated by this criminal element, which destroys trust. And when you try to get help, beware of the traps set, just waiting for you to step into. Totally complicit doctors, dentists, psychiatrists, and intake nurses. And if when you try to tell normal people about this, 99% will disbelieve you, no matter how sane and stable a person you obviously are. The methods used are many and varied, quite endlessly creative, and alas, used for such destructive ends. Also, with the advances in technology have come invisible tortures like DEWs, directed energy weapons, EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, ELFs, extra low frequencies, scalar wave weaponry, to name a few. And of course now there is nanotechnology and someone's vision of human robots. Yuck! I first experienced an ELF attack, ELF, that's extra low frequency, starting on January 1st, 2010. Other versions of that methodology have followed on and off ever since. I must admit, I didn't believe the other TI reports about those kinds of frequency attacks either. It's invisible, until I experienced it myself. Other methods of their madness employed: extreme and prolonged noise campaigns, sleep deprivation, noxious fumes and gassing of your home environment, constant gang stalking, incessant silent and other bogus phone calls, trumped up and bogus evictions, secret and illegal entry into your home, spy cams in your shower and elsewhere in your home, medical practitioners, doctors, dentists, psychiatrists, etc., who absolutely trash the Hippocratic Oath with false and abusive practices and outright neglect. Did your blood pressure skyrocket because of all this crap? Oh, no need to even take a blood pressure reading. Did you have a fall and fracture your thigh bone? Can barely walk because of it? Oh, no need for an x-ray. Run along now. Lawyers and bureaucrats who get graft to betray your interests and promote their own and others' interests. Contractors who devise arranged vehicle accidents, sabotage of your vehicle, being chased and run off the road. Con men, deceiver, Romeo perps who intentionally meet you with the purpose of abusing you intimately and your children, if you have kids, and so many other tricks and troubles, too numerous to list. But one favorite used on me to get and keep me isolated, with no friends or help or support by any decent person, is to attack any such decent person who befriends me and effectively drive them away. Then the perp fake friends swoop in and mess with you. Any attempts to get out of poverty are blocked, stolen, and derailed. Intimidation, a lot of that. Psyops, mind games. These bands of bad actors use spy technology to always apprehend your every move. I am strongly reminded of Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events books. Amazing how, no matter what new place and situation the three Baudelaires are moved to, their evil nemesis is already there, set up and ready to trash and threaten their lives once again. Oh, with his band of bad actors. They are forced to keep moving, and it is exhausting. All their resourcefulness is tested to the limit. They are constantly in a fight for their lives. That author certainly knew about this crap. There's something I call the old 180, where the truth is inverted, reversed, way beyond lying, but accusing and trying to frame you for what they, in fact, are doing. Unfortunate indeed. I have experienced all of the above-mentioned techniques and more for decades. It became overt in the year 2000. As far as how long it's been happening, one GP actually suggested from the day you were born. The implications of that are deeply disturbing. So is living through this, how it warps your life. I have not used journal book and page numbers to list these events because I don't want to relive them in detail. My journals are full of such details. Also, for the record, this unrelentingly cruel abuse has continued to the present day of this writing, Tuesday, February 15th, 2025. That is my testimony, which does not really convey what evil this is. But it is the context of this earthly 3D reality, as I have experienced it, endured it, survived it, me and many thousands of other TIs. And it is very painful to have others not believe you because it sounds so crazy, and you have no or so little evidence of this crime. Such weird things happen inexplicably. For example, 2011 or 2012, I was living at the Penn apartment building under great duress, and I was exhausted when I showed up at Dee's door, so needing an unassailed place to just lay down and rest for a while. She had a cable company technician expected to arrive soon, as she'd made an appointment to have her new TV hooked up. This very tall cable guy who arrived, within a minute or two, looked over at me, laying on a daybed at the far end of the room, and asked me, "Are you the author?" I was surprised, stunned, and wondering what the hey was this out of the blue question from a perfect stranger. I just didn't respond. If I'd had my wits about me, I would have asked why he asked me that, and author of what exactly, since I've never published any of my writing. There was this awkward silence. Then Dee piped up and said, "She's just visiting," and nothing more was said. We never spoke of it again. Like I said, very strange. I knew Dee had wanted to be a writer from way back when we met in 1991, and we'd done some I Ching inquiries with our friend Leah. But Dee never did pursue that endeavor, not that I know of anyways. A couple of true testimony examples. Sabotage of the front wheel of my car so that it literally fell off as I was driving. That was about 2002. Twice attempted to frame me as a pedophile. 1999, 2015. Wow, that is really going too far. That is disgusting. Pedophilia is a plague that I am opposed to, and they know it. Who is they? Who is them? Good question. At least one of them is a pedophile. Like I said, the old 180. How backwards and upside down it is. Very Orwellian. What liars. All names in these pages have been changed. See my chapter, Dream of Angels, about that opposition. Also on this subject, when I used the I Ching for divination, I would get certain hexagram lines repeatedly. One of them that mystified me, because aside from not believing evil existed, I could not fathom having enemies. I'm a good person, why on earth would I have enemies? It made no sense to me. I didn't get that being a good person is why. One of the I Chings I used to get repeatedly about all this was this one. Hexagram number 21, Shiho, biting through, fourth line. Bites on dried, gristly meat, receives metal arrows. It furthers one to be mindful of difficulties and to be persevering. Good fortune. There are great obstacles to be overcome, powerful opponents who are to be punished. Though this is arduous, the effort succeeds. But it is necessary to be hard as metal and straight as an arrow to surmount the difficulties. If one knows these difficulties and remains persevering, he attains good fortune. The difficult task is achieved in the end. Recourse to law and penalties overcomes the disturbances of harmonious social life caused by criminals and slanderers. The theme of this hexagram is a criminal lawsuit. This is from the Wilhelm version of the I Ching. Perhaps my soul's purpose in coming here was to learn to forgive the unforgivable. I heard Dr. Gabor Mate say that his epitaph's going to be, "It was a lot more work than I anticipated." Well, me too. Saturday's child indeed. Some of us imagined a peaceful, thriving humanity, enlightened self-government, kindness and cooperation and brotherly love, the fostering of well-being, all that good stuff. On a bad day, I like to remember a line in the movie about the Dalai Lama, Kundun. The good will win, the bad will lose, Kundun. On a good day, it bears repeating Rumi's oft-quoted wisdom. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right-doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. And from Yogananda's autobiography, a quote from the Upanishads. He who knows the joy of Brahman, knowing both good and evil, transcends both. I have an addition to this chapter, which I came across recently. It's from a YouTube by Pam Gregory with Veda Austin. It's called The Doors to Consciousness with Autists. And Veda Austin is investigating water. And through that, she got involved with these young autists who have special qualities and abilities. In this video, at minute 46:09, there's a quote by Sammy, who is one of the autists that she interviews. Things that are out of tune and out of harmony will cease to exist, because the power of all this is overtaking the planet at rapid rates and cannot be stopped. We're too far along in the process. No one saw us coming, and the evil ones could not see our true potential. Even if they tried to stop us with poisons, they did not know that they helped us stay out of the body and bring in something new. And that concludes episode 9. Signing off.